Yo, today I'm building me a brand new PC in the Cooler Master Nr200p. Take a look at this, baby. A 30 series graphics card. Now, let's go over all the other parts. The first part up is a CPU. We're going to be using our Ryzen 9 3900X. If you're wondering why I'm not using maybe a 5900X, well, first off, I don't have the money for it. Second off, I don't have the money for it. So the 3900X will do just fine. It has 12 cores and 24 threads, and it'll be a beast. And the motherboard that's going to be housing the CPU is the Asus ROG Strix B550 ITX gaming motherboard. In my opinion, it's one of the cleanest ITX boards out there. It's not quite X570, but it's the next best. And to cool the 3900X, we're going to be trying out the Scythe Fuma 2. I heard around that it fits with the Nr200p with the tempered glass panel. So that's what I'm gonna try. And for RAM, we're gonna be using a Team Group kit. It's a 2x16GB kit clocked at 3200 megahertz. Another question you guys are probably wondering, why am I not running like 3600 megahertz? Well, I got two reasons for you. I don't have the money for it, and I don't have the money for it. So this 3200 megahertz will have to do, and it's 32 gigs, which is plenty good since I do edit 4K videos. On the topic of editing 4K videos, it takes a lot of space up. So storage is next. I got quite a few options here for storage. It's a handful. First up is my NVMe SSDs. I got a 970 EVO 500GB for the boot drive, and then a WD Blue 2TB for like a game drive. And then my other SSD, it's a Crucial 1TB. It's a 2.5-inch SSD, so I think it'll fit right in the front of the case, and this will just be my editing drive. And then for mass storage, what does it best than a hard drive? We got a C8 Barracuda 2TB hard drive, and it's just gonna be backup storage. As I said, I'm gonna be trying to cram a lot of storage into this case. To power everything, we're gonna be using this baby right here. Corsair SFX power supply, 600 watts, 80 plus platinum. For additional cooling throughout this case, we're gonna be using some Arctic P12 fans. The reason I'm using these, I don't have money for a Noctua, so these will have to do. In the case is obviously the Nr200p in white. The last and final part, it's right here. Comment down below what GPU you think it is. If you saw a community post, then you may have known. We got an RTX 3080. I had to camp out at Best Buy for like almost a whole day, and I managed to get a 3080. Now, let's build this thing. Quick interruption. I didn't think this power supply would be that small, but look, here's my hand. It just fits right in my hand. Like, this little thing cute. Finally done with the PC. I think it turned out pretty fire. If you guys notice in the B-roll, the hard drive, it didn't really look like a hard drive, and that's because I put some vinyl wrap on there and made that thing look like carbon fiber. I think it turned out pretty good, and if you're wondering, the carbon fiber will be linked down below if you want some. But anyways, I know you can probably see right there in the corner, the PC does look different than it did. So let's talk about the test results that I ran first, and then I'll talk about the changes I did. So in the normal configuration with the air cooler on there, I ran Firestrike and TimeSpy. And then in Firestrike, the highest GPU scores I was seeing in 1080p, and then the lowest I was seeing them in 4K. And then for the physics score, which is basically just the CPU score, the highest score I was seeing was in 1440p, and then the lowest score I was seeing was in extreme. But it's weird because I'm pretty sure when you set it to extreme, the resolution it does it at is 1440p. So I'm not sure why there's a bit different right there. And then for TimeSpy, across all the resolutions, you can just see the different scores fluctuating. But here's the more interesting stuff, the temperatures. So for thermal testing in the GPU, I saw a max of 76 degrees and then a minimum of 45°C. Those temperatures are pretty damn good, especially for a mini little case like this. I was super surprised. But here's where I got sad. CPU temperature. I was seeing a maximum of 97°C and then a minimum of 72. First off, 97°C, that is pretty hot. I saw it like stuttering in TimeSpy and stuff. It couldn't really finish the scene. And then for minimum, the 72°C, that's already hot just being a minimum. So like, I had to change it up. So the changes I did, I added a 240mm AIO to the side, a Thermaltake one I had left over from my first PC build. I mounted it to the side, the two top Arctic fans on top of the case, I put them on the side of the AIO, and then I used the original Cooler Master fans and put them back to the top of the case. So the results for the final configuration with the AIO on the side, I'll probably end up keeping it like this. First off, the Firestrike scores were all higher. Almost all of them were higher than when I tested it with the air cooler. But for the TimeSpy, between the first configuration and this configuration, the scores are roughly the same. But here's where it gets interesting, the temperatures. For the GPU, they actually shot up. It went up to 81 max and then 55°C minimum. But here's where it all gets better, the thermal testing for the CPU. We were seeing a maximum of 79°C and then a minimum of 58°C. First off, our max with the AIO is almost our minimum with the air cooler. So that is way better, and it was getting, you know, higher scores. That's why the scores were higher and stuff. But for the GPU temps, they obviously shot up, and I think the reason for that is because we have fans on the side pulling in fresh air, and then fans on the bottom going up like this, and then all the hot air I think is just kind of stuck circulating there. So maybe if I swap the two bottom ones as exhaust, that would probably help. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results right now, so I may just leave it alone. And if you guys were wondering if there was any other like differences in between the two configurations other than the temperatures and the score, just listen to this. I ran a few sound tests for you. Let me know what you think of the differences in the sound. I think it sounds way better. It's obviously way quieter in my opinion. So let me know what you think down below. And also, would you do the air cooler or the AIO? And also, this PC handles streaming, which I do now. I've streamed twice in the making of this video. Catch me on one of my streams. I'm trying to stream every day from 12 to 2 MST time, so mountain time or whatever. But link down below, it's just Elijah's live at Twitch. I'd appreciate it if you guys stop by. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, drop me a like. If you enjoyed the fact that I got a 3080 for myself and I didn't have to pay scalper prices, drop me a like. And if you dislike me as a person, then drop me a like. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.